Hello,
Hello.
good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Ask Us Anything, the podcast where we openly talk about digital entrepreneurship and answer your biggest questions about building a business online. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Niha.
Good
Sawadee ka.
morning.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Of course, magandang umaga sa ating mga kababayan from Pilipinas. My name is Mary. I was a former marketing executive and turned full-time digital business entrepreneur. So, welcome again, Niha. And I hear you are having a sore throat.
Yeah, can you
Good?
hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Neha, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today again for another episode. And today's episode is especially for people who think that they need to have a loud personality to start a business online. So it's especially for quiet thinkers, introverts, and shy creators, because I also was one of this before. So it's to tell you that do you need to be outgoing or good at speaking to start something online or to succeed online. So to help us talk about it today, we have a special guest joining us from UAE, Dubai, Liz. So let's welcome Liz. Good
Welcome.
Good
morning.
morning,
Good
lady.
morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Very early morning for from me here in Dubai. Thank you, Sis Grace, and thank you, Niha, for having me on your podcast today. It's an honor to be here and join you this morning to share to your audience a very important and interesting discussion about succeeding online, even for introverts like many of us.
Wow. Thank you, Liz. Would you like to introduce yourself first so that our audience would also could get to know you?
Okay, amazing. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Liz. I'm originally from the Philippines, but I've been working with my husband here in Dubai, UAE, for 18 years now. I know that sounds like a long time, very, very long time ago, but yes, we're thankful to be working and living here in the Middle East since 2008. We've been actively serving our church ministry. We are working in retail and we are digital business mentors since 2020. So it's almost 6 years when we started this business.
Wow. All right. So, how do you greet the people in Dubai?
Since it's morning, we say sabah al khair, which is their good morning. So it's sabah al
And
khair.
you have recently just celebrated Eid. Am I correct
Yes,
in pronouncing
actually,
that? Yeah.
it's still the fifth day of Eid here. We started on holiday from Tuesday, so it's been a nice long weekend for us here in the UAE. So we're enjoying that, and we return work only on Monday. So we say to our Muslim brothers and sisters, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. So, happy Eid Mubarak to all our friends in UAE. Do you also celebrate Eid Mubarak there, Niha?
Yes, we do, because we are multicultural country. So yeah, but we don't have holidays, but people take their leaves. So the road has been very quiet these days.
Mm. For us in Thailand, most of the Muslim community are also in the south. So we also have Eid Mubarak in the southern part of Thailand. I believe in Philippines also south area. So yeah,
Yeah.
happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim friends, brothers and sisters from all around the world. All right, so let's jump into our questions for today. So the first one would be the most asked question: what was the hardest part about starting an online business for you, Sis Liz?
For me, I think there's two things for me. One is about putting up my own brand, like how do I brand myself to people or the audience online. And number two is the uncertainty of all of it because it's still new. When we started this business in 2020, my husband Ian and I have never done any business, especially a business online. And I know during that time people have just started, knowing about Teams and all of that because we transitioned our work because it was in the middle of the pandemic, right? So for us, it's about, posting on social media, because for us, I think many of us during the time, we only use Facebook, we only use Instagram to, create our content for our family, for our own consumption. It's not about starting a business, but sometimes for us, my hesitation was, if I'm putting all of these things out there, like, is it me bragging, or is it just me sharing what I know and something that people might be able to resonate with, something people might get inspired with, because I think, especially for Filipinos, I think, you will also resonate na we don't really want to, lift our own benches, as we say. We want people to naturally get inspired by us, but not necessarily to say, I'm so good at this and all of that. Especially like we don't really know anything about running a business online, so posting things consistently online took a little bit of time to be comfortable with, right? And I think you will also resonate with the fact that, sometimes there are so many ideas out there that you cannot really translate into into an action. I have so many things in my head. I get inspired by so many things I post online that I also want to do something similar, but like, where do I start? Like, how do I do this? Like, how do I translate this idea into action? So those are the things that sometimes I feel like I had to struggle in the beginning. But the great thing about that is that I know that I have this all of these ideas in my head, that my intention is I want to share it to as many people as possible. Because I want to inspire them. I want to be able to help them. I want to be able to, share what I found, and hopefully they also found value in that.
Thank you, Sis Liz. I was on mute a while ago. But yeah, beautifully said, because sometimes it's not about just being introvert, no? It's about um, also enjoying your privacy and nothing to show off too much on the online world, because we know also how dangerous the online world is, that people can just bash you, and people not may people may not like you. That's what we're so afraid of sometimes, and it's true, we cannot please everybody. People will always have something to say, like good or bad, all the time. And for me, similar. um I would say I have a dual personality. Sometimes I'm introvert and sometimes I'm extrovert, because coming from a humble family, so my parents were poor. They didn't finish they just finished high school, so they were just my dad is a security guard and my mom is just I won't put the word just my mom is a housewife. And we were raised shy, timid. And when you're poor, right, like you have nothing to brag, and you're not so exposed to so many things. So I was raised really very, very like a shy kid. And then growing up, I joined a choir, and that's when I learned to um, be on stage, be on a performance level, express myself, talk to audience. So it felt good to me, because I can actually be relatable to people. So and then I went to marketing. I took marketing because I thought that media at that time was a good choice.
Mhm.
So because of my job, because of my singing, I was forced to put myself in front all the time. But most of the time, when I'm filled in a bigger crowd, I would always find myself comfortable being alone. I would always look for a quiet time for myself. So going back to the questions of being introvert or being shy, and can people like us, introvert, shy, um, and with less confidence, do this online business? And just like what Cicely's shared, yes, definitely. Because if we can do it, then you can also do it. Right, Niha?
Yes, definitely. Like for me, I'm remembering how I would tremble when I had to do presentations at work, speaking in front of people. Your voice just cracks in, but you have to keep going. But later you get good at it. So that's how the social media business is also. You need to practice to become perfect. So when you start, you get your confidence. So, Grace, before we move on, let's just check some comments.
All right. Yes. So we have a lot of engagers today. So starting off with Ayin. All
Yeah,
right.
hello, beautiful
Hello, beautiful
ladies.
ladies. And happy Eid Mubarak. Okay. And from Pia, hi ladies, watching from Philippines. Magandang umaga. And coming from Ayin, yes, in 2020, the digital space just started to boom and became part of our lives. And from Anne, hello ladies, watching from New Brunswick, Canada. Good morning. Hi, Mary, Niha, and Liz. Good morning, Anne, and hope you're enjoying your breakfast. All you ladies out there. And yeah, that's a beautiful sharing to start off. And we move on to the second question.
So, Liz, what would you say to people who feel shy, awkward, or not confident enough to show up online?
I think, Miha, even for me, from my personal experience, one of the few hesitations I had is like, what would people think, right? Like, what am I doing online? Especially for us, I've never really been online. I've never really tried this. Previously there are people who started blogging. There are people who started creating videos for recreational or entertainment purposes, right? But sometimes for me, I'm also guilty of, judging them in a way like, what are they doing? Why are they doing these things? And so when the time comes that I had to do something similar, in terms of, sharing our business online, sharing our business on Facebook, creating videos, it's like I also had that thing saying like, what would people think? Why am I doing this? And for me, especially that, I of course, I'm sure you would also agree that you also think that people might misjudge you, people might misunderstand what you're trying to do. But I try to remember my why, like my intention of doing it. If my purpose is to share, credible and authentic information, if I want to share, my own personal experiences, if my intention is to share whatever I found online to as many people as possible. Like Mary said, like there will always be people who will judge you differently, and that's nothing. It's something I cannot control. So what I can control is what I publish in my page. What I can control is what I decide to share to people online. And I think for me, it's a very good start, because if your intention starts from sharing or on a positive thought that, oh, if at least one person gets inspired by what I've done, gets inspired by what I'm doing, then that's good enough for me. Maybe that one person would inspire another person, that other person will inspire two more person, and imagine how good that can be much later on. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. Because for my husband Ian and I, we've really decided to make our business page a platform, where we can share our married life, our business journey. We want to share our life here in the Middle East as breadwinners, as active members of the church ministry. And for us, these are all good things to share. It's not all rainbows and sunshines. We've all had our struggles. And as you know, where we are right now in this part of the world is, it's a little bit, we're like in the headlines these days since March. I'm sure if you're following the news, like the Middle East has been in the headlines since March. And, we still try to show to people like, this is the life right here, right now. It's not the best right now. The opportunities are, especially for employment, are kind of low, the economy is, slightly unstable, but we still use our platform to say, you know what, we're very grateful about the opportunities here we have in the UAE. We have an amazing job, but we have an amazing business as well that we're running on the side. So all of that comes from the intention of, sharing to people that these are some of the things that you can do online, and that brings you much more confidence.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
true. I really love how you said, Liz, that focus on things that you can control, not on what others are doing, which is really important because sometimes you think that we need to, oh, why this person is saying that, then we maybe some people will cry and cry, sit, and just stop taking action for themselves because they let people's judgment stop them. So I really love that. And yes, like you said, there's so many things going on in the Middle East, but yet you're showing up. And I really love how you put your couple dates on your page. I really love the food you show. Yeah, so this is amazing. So do we have some more comments, Mary? Or
Ah, okay. That was off so far. For me, I just like to add that Lise mentioned something about duplication, the power of duplication, and that's beautiful. If even if we just inspire one and that person would pass it on to another, that's the power of duplication. And our contribution of making the online space positive, sharing good news, that's something because we all know there's a lot of negative news in the online space, and being part of this online digital community is something that is really really a gold mine, because you will find friends like Liz and Niha who are so positive, so inspiring, and continue to thrive in this really very challenging world. And they're sharing their own stories, not 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 invented ones. And that's really something. That's one of the things that I really enjoy in this community, being part of a circle who inspire you to become better persons as well. So if you guys are looking for good friends online, so make friends with us. Our websites are written down here. Just click on the links below, and we'd love to become friends with you on the online space. Right, Niha? Oh, there are additional comments right here.
yes.
Okay, so Anne said, yes, only focusing on things we can control and let God handle the rest. Beautifully said. And Ayin mentioned it's amazing feeling to help people through the digital business. It's true. All right, so that's it for us. Anything that you'd like to add, Liz or Niha, for our morning risers this Saturday?
I think for me, I would also just like to add that sometimes I think it's also one of my hesitations of doing something online. I'm not very confident. Is that the selling part of it? The selling part and the networking part, because I think many people who would have experiences in doing a business traditionally would have to have certain selling skills or certain networking skills. But the great thing for us, even as introverts or even partial introverts, we don't really need to do the selling part, and we don't really need to network in an environment that that makes you feel uncomfortable. Like you said, we have an amazing global community. We meet people all over the world. Like I'm in Dubai, you're in Thailand, Niha is in Mauritius. Like, how great is this? Amazing community of similar minded people that there are no boundaries, there's no physical boundaries to us. So even if sometimes as an introvert, like you're kind of shy meeting people like face to face, but the online space has given us that platform to meet people from literally all over the world. Anne is in Canada, Ayin is in the Philippines. We are in different, we lost Neha for a bit. We are in different parts of the world, and it's amazing that we can build that connection even through computer screens, and then eventually you would have face-to-face meetings. So I think that that's also one beauty about doing a business online, you know. And like we said, sometimes it's a little harder in the beginning, but later on, when you get to be more comfortable around it, you can approach people from the other side of the world who's in totally different time zone, or you can be friends with your mentee who's actually living in Australia, for example. So I really love that concept of this business community bridging introverts all together and bringing them in a safe community where we can all thrive, and we can all be more comfortable and more confident. Oh, is that Teresa? Hi, Teresa. Good morning.
Hello.
Good
She just
morning.
woke up.
Yeah, so I think that's really beautiful, and I'm very grateful that I found this community of not just thinkers but also doers, and people who push past their limitations of, I cannot do this because I'm shy, I cannot do this because I'm an introvert, I cannot do this because people might judge me. But you know what, people who say, what, I can do this, maybe not the best right now, but I can do this much better tomorrow. And that's very important, to just keep pushing, keep building your confidence, and keep showing up and sharing your true authentic self.
Okay, thank you so much for your beautiful words, Liz. Beautifully put together. So, thank you for sharing your journey and insights with us today. And to everyone listening, we hope this episode reminded you that you do not need a loud personality or not be naturally outgoing to succeed online. There is space for everybody in the online world, and you just need to bring yourself, be you, be the most authentic version of yourself, and spread the blessings that you have with others so they help others grow as well. And if this episode encouraged you, share it with someone who has been doubting themselves or think that we are introvert, that's why we started this business. So this is not true. And don't forget to send us your questions for the next episode of Ask Us Anything series 3. And we are excited to see you again next week. So, till then, take care, happy weekend, and enjoy. And here it's Mother's Day weekend, so we are excited for it.
Happy
Yeah,
Mother's Day.
Mother's
thank
Day to your
you.
mom, Neha.
Thank you.
Okay, happy
Okay, so see you.
Mubarak, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to our moms in Mauritius. Good morning, everybody, and happy weekend.
Morning.
Thank you,
Alright,
Liz.
happy
Bye
weekend.
bye.
Thank you, guys, and Neha.